Hello, I've been here before. Welcome back. If not, hi, my name is David,
Hi, my name is Matthew.
and I make videos talking about media that I want to talk about. This is the watch wrap up for all the movies that we watched in the month of, what month is it?
It is May.
May. We're doing this slightly different in that because we're going on a vacation. Well, actually, by the time this video comes out, we have already returned from the vacation. But as I'm filming this, we have not gone on that vacation, and that it's going to be in the very end of the month, very beginning of next month. And just to ease in editing, we're just going to do the past now and do the intro and all that stuff. So I don't know how many movies we will end up watching at the end of the month, because I know at least 2 more movies we'll be watching, but maybe something in between, not fully sure. But for now, we're going to talk about 2.5 movies. We'll get to that half. So the first movie that we watched in this month, a movie that you had seen prior, which was The Truman Show.
If you were living in the time of 2000, maybe 2009, I think I was in either elementary school or middle school. There was one summer that ABC Family kept showing this movie during the summer. I watched this goddamn movie so many times that it was haunting me.
And now ABC Family is Freeform, and then Freeform is dead, right?
And no, I think Freeform is still around.
I don't know. So The Truman Show, which came out in 1998, directed by Peter Weir. On Letterboxd, it says, on the air, unaware. In a picture-perfect seaside town, an insurance salesman begins to realize that his entire existence may be staged and observed by a vast unseen audience as part of a reality TV show. I gave this a 4.2 out of 5. In that day that I was really tired, this was a good movie to watch because I've heard a lot of good things about it. Jim Carrey's an easy actor to watch, but it's also, important to film history, important to culture. A lot of people.
Is it important to film history? I would say yes, it's important to culture, but I don't know so much about film history aspect of it.
Let me check if it was talked about on my film history class.
Okay, so if anyone here watches TFT, and David's going to edit this out anyways, every time I run Time Breaker Set, Riven never wants to come up to me, and I hate it. Riven used to be one of my mains. I mean, I'm not saying like she was my go-to. She was kind of like a pocket pick. Alawi and Bard Sands, Rise Up, love Bard. Oh my god. See, hold on. Why isn't it giving me Riven at all? I don't want to keep using my gold. I keep using my gold. I look really cute. David, when you're editing this, you get to see how cute I am. Oh, this feels like dead wife material. Oh, hey.
So no, it's not in my film history class, but I might have just put it in my watch list because a lot of people have talked about it.
Yeah, it's important to the culture for sure.
Yeah, so I was kind of fine about it. Jim Carrey, great actor. I don't personally like whimsy, and he's a little bit too whimsical for me in this movie.
I don't think... Oh, I mean, I guess so. But I don't feel that much whimsy from him.
Not as much as...
Until the very end.
Yeah.
In the beginning, but even at the end, he's only whimsical because he's like, goodbye.
Yeah, I do feel like he does serve like the anxiety and fear needed. I just want... I'm a sick freak who wants to watch people scream and fight. And so I'm like, I need... this movie could have been more terrifying and could have been more intense than what it was.
Yes.
And I would have wanted that, but what is there, like, just divorced from my own neuroses, pretty good.
So this movie to me was... I liked it the first time I watched it. And I was like, wow, because I was, I don't know, maybe 10. I know that I was in the double digits for sure. Now I'm in the triple, as you all know.
Exponentially growing.
Yeah. But like I would say like the second time around I watched this movie, I was able to like actually sit down and like consume it a little bit more, because I was so wise as a 12-year-old. But I was like, yeah, this movie's like really good. But then like I was so tainted by that summer that I played every single day. And because there was nothing else that was new, and for some reason I thought I was smart for watching Truman Show, the experience did get worn down on me.
Mm-hmm.
But this time around was a little bit better because I got to see it through fresh eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like we could have used more world building and more building up of the world around and less of Jim Carrey, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the scene, for example, of him with his wife, his fake wife, I guess, driving around in circles was fun, but a lot of that could have been cut down and we could have had a lot more space for the background of the other actors, like his best friend and the actor, that guy, you know, he felt very not malicious, but he was definitely like complicit, and he was like,
well, yeah. What I do like about the best friend was the fact that like he is the surrogate for the creator of the show. Like he gets a little earpiece, so whenever Truman's like down in his luck and he doesn't know what to do, he's going for advice for his best friend. It's just the creator telling him what to do. There's like a lot of stuff in this where I'm like, this is really smart on the side of like how sitcoms work and how like it's horrifying. It's really scary. But at the same time, like, wow, like this is kind of smart.
Makes sense why it became a popular show, you know,
movie.
And that's the
show
in
I
movie.
feel like I think it's one of the things I do enjoy about the movie is that I do see the audience and how they interact with it. Good. I have to speak on it. If you guys have ever watched Danganronpa, played Danganronpa V3, to me, what I wanted from Truman Show as an adult is what I got from Danganronpa V3, which is I kind of wanted a audience member who was a little fucked up about it.
Yeah,
like I'm happy. I'm very happy about like that all the audience was cheering him on to get out of there. But there was also part of me that's like I wanted a member who was like, no, keep him in there. I want him to stay because it felt. I need somebody here to be a little freak. We need one little freak in this show.
I was really afraid that they were going to do the like. People will be angry with him for ending the show, both on the audience side of like people like consumerist. Oh my god, you stopped my favorite TV show, and now I hate you. But also on like the worker side, like the actors, you know, they're all getting paid to do the show. How much are they getting paid? Do they have a worker union? Is there actually
what are the stakeholders?
Is SAG-AFTRA
we need to think about the stakeholders here?
Right? But it didn't do any of that, and it was all very positive, which I think was good. I liked it. Technically, it's just good, but I'm wanting more suffering.
Yeah, I gotta say, for as much as this movie is about like the human experience and like being free, which is really good. There's so many videos of this movie, with like Hope Core and the Indomitable Human Spirit, on TikTok. If you guys have ever seen them, and it's like, yeah, this is what this movie's about. This movie's about freedom. This movie is about going on beyond like being controlled and all that kind of stuff. It's just. This movie is void of like so much of like reality. At the same time, as much as it is about like this carefully curated reality, it's also not based in reality because like, how's the business working? What's the business model here?
If this
it doesn't matter, but it also does matter at the same time because it's a TV show.
If this story was made today, it would be a lot more cynical.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially since I think one of the aspects of it is the fact that it's supposed to be seen more of it feels more of a sitcom. Like it feels like it would have been like a Full House. At least the early seasons would be like Full House.
I do like the cynicism of having product placements used a lot. That felt
that was good.
Unfortunately timeless. Ed Harris is the main quote-unquote antagonist because he's the showrunner. He was really good in it. I'm just noting Ed Harris because my first experience with Ed Harris was The Man in Black in Westworld, which is my favorite TV show, which we recently watched the first 2 seasons. You watched them for the first time. I liked the voyeurism aspect. I wanted more of it. I just like horror, but pretty good.
I wish that we got to learn a little bit more about the girl who makes contact with Truman and tells him that he's in a show, or at least alludes to the fact that he's in the show.
I wish we got more about the friend, the wife, like the main people that Truman interacts with. What are they using to
also to cope with? Because kind of weird to be like, hey, you're going to be chosen to be this guy's wife.
The mother as well, the
Mhm.
father. I don't even know if they were the actual biological mother or fathers.
Yeah.
They never really touched on that. Like, what do they use to justify them tricking this guy to be trapped in there, you know?
It's got to be the money.
The Pokemon that we chose was Vishivashi because multiple different aspects here. You know, we got the singular Vishivashi as Truman himself. You know, a small fish in a big pond type deal.
Looks kind of scared, especially that's how Truman felt like when he
Yeah.
realizes, or is trying to realize, like, this reality is not
Yes.
real.
And then the schooling form, when it is both the entire audience rooting for him and then sort of like his collective power to escape because of his fame, his popularity, his friendships. Also, all the actors looking for him when he disappears. Also, there's a lot of themes surrounding like water and using water as a barrier.
Oh, yeah, because he has a fear of water.
Fear of water.
He has a fear of water.
That's one thing I was a little like iffy on, was like at the end he gets on a boat and surpasses his fear of the water, and I was like, I guess, but there's water is a big aspect of it. I wish that they lingered more on the scene where he gets to the wall, because there's so many. It looks so beautiful. I wish they just lingered more on it. You know what I mean? But Wishiwashi, both schooling and I forget what the form is for the not schooling, unschooled form.
The GED form.
GED form. The next movie we watched was Hokum, which came out this year, 2026, directed and written by Damon McCarthy. On Letterboxd, we've been expecting you. When novelist Om Bauman retreats to a remote inn to scatter his parents' ashes, he's consumed by tales of a witch haunting the honeymoon suite. Disturbing visions and a shocking disappearance force him to confront dark corners of his past. I gave it a 4.1 out of 5. I like this less than you did.
Yeah, I really had fun with this movie.
I did too, but I did not quite like the first act, and that didn't really set up well for the second and third acts. The first act felt a little slow in terms of we are getting so many side characters that they're all really important. No, there's nothing if everything is important, we have to pay attention to every single thing. And then also alongside that, there are jump scares that happen that felt very samey to me and expected. And so I was just sort of conditioned into expecting that type of jump scare. But then, so we watched it. It was a pretty full theater. It wasn't packed, but it was full.
It was pretty full.
We had to get 2 seats. We had to get seats at the front 2 rows, second row close. I don't personally like getting up close to that screen, but it was really packed. And the moment that the movie became a bit more enjoyable for me personally was when the main character, who's played by Adam Scott, it has like this dream sequence that sort of explains how what happened with the dark corners of his past, and then there's just like this the scariest jump scare, one of the scariest jump scares I've ever seen, and because I was so conditioned that these jump scares were not that good, I was really scared for this one jump scare. I'm always a big jumper. I get really scared easily.
I'm a big jumper.
I'm a big jumper. And I screamed so loud, and no one else did. I remember screaming 3 times.
Yeah,
consecutively.
It was like a hollering. I don't think that's how you could say it, but
hollering or howling?
Both, honestly.
And that was a little embarrassing, but a friend of mine was like, that's exactly what the filmmakers want, and so you're the target audience. I'm like, yeah.
You made yourself a target. That jump scare was really funny to me because I didn't expect it to happen. Like I feel like I would have been affected, but I was so focused on your screaming that I did not see what was on the screen because I looked over to you, and then when I looked back, I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I get it."
Damon McCarthy, I've seen Oddity. I've not seen Caveat. I don't know. I mean, it's not on my watch list, but Oddity was really good last watched it last year. It came out a year prior, and this one, like both movies, Damien McCarthy is really good at atmosphere and tension. And the motel that this guy goes to in what was it, Ireland
It
or
is a
Scotland?
hotel, not a motel. And
Okay.
it's not even a Holiday Inn.
Okay.
This hotel is in Ireland, yes.
Ireland, that's it. It was really interesting. It looked really nice, you know?
Yes, the atmosphere of this movie is really, really good. It's hard for me to hate on this movie because of the fact of like, yeah, there are jump scares. The whole of the horror aspect of this movie does not feel like it is like on terms of like, I don't know, Incantation. Incantation's like the one movie, that horror movie that I can think of that like made me have to not look at the screen. But because the atmosphere was so good and a lot of the setting was good and the tension was still there, like I still felt pretty tense throughout the whole thing. It was pretty good. I wish that it went more into the folk aspect of it.
Yes.
Because there's so much to do with witchcraft. And I thought that this movie was going to go into like the fact of witchcraft is a lot about reclaiming your power. It's usually about women doing terrible things to men because it's like they're reclaiming the power for men.
Yeah.
And I thought that they were going to touch about like the witch and how she was maybe some sort of tragic figure because she's locked by the guy who owns the hotel. I don't know if he locked him down or if it was like a ancestor of his, but like, you know, I thought that something was going to come off about that. One thing I don't like about a lot of recent horror movies and just movies in general is that they're so afraid of like reinventing the wheel. But sometimes it's like, okay, it's okay to reinvent the wheel if you make the wheel look nicer.
Yeah.
I think that they could have done it with this. Like, yes, if they made the witch like a tragic figure or something like that, it would have been like, off the top of my head, I can think of like Paranorman, where like the girl who's a witch was actually a victim. It would have been nice if they did that with this movie, but she's not a victim.
Yeah, like a lot, like to what you're saying, a lot of recent horror movies have tended to be the supernatural, scary aspect is part of the setting, but not part of the conflict. And the conflict of the story is intimately human. Like in this, it's like the workers of a few of the workers of that hotel are doing bad stuff, and then there's like a witch downstairs, you know, and it's like the witch could have been used more as a actual antagonist versus just an obstacle to overcome. However, what was there was still pretty good. I really like the folk aspects that were present. It was overall a pretty enjoyable movie. There were some small things here and there that don't like together don't really amount to a lot, but definitely there's a lot of scattered plot beats, details that sort of either take me out of it, confuse me. Like, for example, like a dead body disappears at one point and then reappears, and that's not really touched on. The jackass guy, not touched on for good reason, but felt disconnected from the story. Alm's backstory felt boring. I didn't really care about, and then also him being a writer, and like at the very,
it's not his fault.
It's not.
He's a writer.
The very beginning of the movie is him imagining what he's writing, and that doesn't really do anything for me personally, even though I am a writer too. Oh, also have to know, very very unlikable character.
Oh yeah.
Which was really good.
Oh
really,
yeah,
really well.
Oh my god,
implemented.
So he's being an asshole to the bartender.
Yeah,
and when he's an asshole, I'm sitting there. I'm like, beforehand, I was like, oh, okay, let's see how this unfolds. It's when is the curse gonna happen? So I know there's a witch. If there's a witch in a supernatural film, someone's getting cursed.
Yeah.
And then he's an asshole to the bartender, and I'm like, I can't wait for this bitch to get cursed.
Yeah.
Curse him now. And we thought that for a second that like maybe this was gonna go into the what movie did we Scream? Psycho.
Well, both actually.
Oh yeah, they are both.
Because
we thought that this guy was gonna get murked early on.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the film was gonna either be about like the bartender or some other employee at the hotel.
I thought this was gonna be like Marion at the beginning of Psycho, or Drew Barrymore at the beginning of Scream.
Yeah.
Which the Scream is referencing Psycho, whatever. But but no, he stays the main character, and it's I feel like it's kind of brave. It's a risk to have an unlikable character like this. Adam Scott has the charisma to be able to sell that unlikableness,
but still want to watch them,
and watch them, and also feel like it's not like a repulsive unlikableness. It's like, oh, this guy's a dick.
I was saying, you see in Commedia dell'arte, the Harley Quinn.
I don't want to say that I did not believe that Adam Scott could be an unlikable character, because I've seen so much of Adam Scott be a likable character, but because it was Adam Scott, it added a certain level of unlikableness to that hard to grasp on exactly why, but really good. Ending was fun. The witch is fun.
I do wish the witch was just. The witch is obviously present in the movie because she's fucking around. But I wish we had like 1 or 2 scenes of seeing the witch actually like actively doing stuff.
Yeah.
Again, and that just goes into, I wish this movie had a more grounded antagonist.
I didn't really care about about half of the side characters that were really important looked the same, sounded the same, because they were white Irish. So it was like hard to be like, okay, who is this person again? And then the one really good character, she died, which was unfortunate, but it made sense for the story, whatever.
I love how Irish she was. And I mean this in the way of see, is like lost in the beginning. He's just lost in this hotel trying to find his room.
Yeah.
And this the girl is like, hey, are you lost? And he's like, well, what does it look like? Like, he says something along those lines, and she says, well, with that attitude, you can stay lost. And I was like, yep, this is Ireland.
Fiona was her name.
Yeah.
The Pokemon that we chose for this was Klefki, because a big aspect of this story is both the actual keys used to get in and out of the hotel and to the rooms and stuff like that, but also the witch collects little trinkets from her victims and hangs them from the ceiling, and that is also used in the movie in a really fun way. And Klefki feels folkish to me because of the fairy aspect. It has a bunch of keys that it collects. People use Klefki to
keep their keys safe.
Keep the keys safe. Yeah.
Klefki, you were a monster in Gen 6, and I think that was really funny.
Klefki still is a monster.
Yeah, I know. It's like, so funny. I looked at him the first time, and I was like, who the fuck is going to use these keys? And then turns out he's like really good and competitive.
Yeah, in Legends EA, Klefki's like goated. And then the half movie that I mentioned at the beginning is because we watched 4 movies in one day, a marathon of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. We did a separate video. It'll be somewhere at the top of us talking about these 4 movies, so it wasn't so much things that we had to talk about for the watch wrap up. So if you want to hear our more in-depth thoughts about these 4 movies, go check out that video if you so desire. I will at least mention the Pokemon that we chose for each of these. For Curse of Black Pearl, it was Gimmighoul, because of all Aztec gold.
Judgment's Chest, we did Dondozo, because not only is he a good like Kraken stand-in, but because he's a good stand-in for the ship of, what is it called? What is the Flying Dutchman's? Oh, it is the Flying Dutchman. Yeah. The Flying Dutchman itself, it's kind of like how Tatsugiri goes into Dondozo to become part of Dondozo.
Yeah.
And all the crew members of the Flying Dutchman become part of the ship, physically.
And we also had Delmise for At World's End. Delmise, very ghost ship, piratey. This is a moss that is taking control of the wreckage of a ship. And we were like, this has to be at least one of the 4 movies. Which one does it fit?
And then for Stranger Tides, we did Hisui and Samurott, mostly because of Blackbeard. Evil, the beard.
Pokedex in the Hisuian form talks about strong waves and being very strong. Also has a big sword as well.
And can only control boats. Has telepathy, but only for boats.
He's very intimate with the boats.
He's a boat empath, okay?
He has evil telekinesis with boats. And yeah, those were the 2.5 movies. The half is the marathon. So if you want to, again, video will be also linked in the description. That we watched so far in the month of May. And by the time we get back from vacation, this video will be out, and we will talk about the next few movies that we watch in the rest of the month. Do you have anything to say to our eventual future selves that will be in the present when this comes out?
Have fun in Washington.
Hello, we are in the future now in wonderful, cloudy, the Pacific Northwest. This is where you grew up in, and I've had an amazing time. We've had an amazing time in here. Love it, this place. If you can see in the background, now lean into me. There you go. There is the Puffin. So if you're ever at the Pacific Northwest, go to the Puffin. Because it's a great...
They have great fish and chips.
That's it.
Also, go on the Colombian Best of 2026 to vote the Puffin for the best fish and chips.
So we are talking about 3 movies at the end of this month that we watched. One of them technically is for June, but we're here now. Might as well just talk about it. I forgot to mention we have Not Perry here. Not Perry was where did we buy it?
We bought we bought him from a place called Crafter's Warehouse,
Yes.
which has closed down. We literally got him
Last year.
Here. A week before it closed down.
Yeah.
He's a rescue.
He's a rescue.
He's
a original Pacific Northwest Ian, I guess.
just like me.
Yes.
Him and I, kindred spirits.
And he's an avatar of the stranger because he is not Perry. It's not ! Perry. Because he's not Perry the platypus. He's a platypus. And he's so soft too. Anyways, so we had the Truman, Hokum, we had the Pirates of the Caribbean Marathon. After that, we watched Passenger, which came out in 2026, directed by Andre Overdahl. In Letterboxd, it says 130 million people take road trips every year. 15,400 of them are never seen again, which is a lot of verbose and also not touched on in the movie. I gave it a 3.2 out of 5. We watched it I saw this horror movie themed club locally that organized a theater takeover and to watch the movie on its premiere night, and that was really fun. The movie was fine. Passenger, what do you think of Passenger?
Okay, so this is I felt really bad because this was for a club, and a lot of new people came here because this was something that was new, and the owner of the club was promoting it. Like, it was really promoted, I
saw it on TikTok, and a lot of people saw it on TikTok,
and then I joined for this, and it was okay.
It was fine.
It was fine. My issues with it is that it was very scare scene to scare scene, and the in between was bad, honestly.
Very similar to what our thoughts on Velvet Buzzsaw.
Yeah.
But Velvet Buzzsaw had a lot more fun with it.
Yeah, Velvet Buzzsaw was a little campy.
Yeah.
But this one wasn't, and also it
took itself too seriously.
Yeah, it took itself way too seriously, and there was fun moments in it. The scares were really fun. The one that's that everyone's talking about is them using a projector to light up an area to try to find the demon.
That's really fun.
And it's really fun. But
there's a scene in a parking lot that is nauseating, but
I couldn't look.
Camera wise, it was crazy, but I really liked what they were doing with it. And then there's some great lighting that happens. There's a moment where there's the brake light flashing on and off red, and that's just really great lighting. But overall, some interesting, unique things here and there. But as a package, it was fine.
Yeah, I was talking to you about how David was I don't really like this couple, and I was I feel I like them, but I feel I like them just because of the actors. I felt the actors were very good at their job. They just were kind of given a mediocre script. I don't want to call it bad because it wasn't bad, but it was very mediocre. It was fine.
Again, Velvet Buzzsaw, they elevated the material.
They elevated the material. I'm very happy that it didn't go the route of woman hysteria.
Yes.
Because I was very scared that it was going to turn into that, like, oh, he's just going to think that she's crazy. But then the husband, well, fiance, he sees the demon as well very shortly after her like second meeting with him, and it was like, oh, like this is how what you've been seeing, and she's silent, but like, yeah, it's what she's been dealing with.
Yeah. It took a bit for him to actually get into it, and I think that's what was a little flawed. I think from the get-go, like she sees it first and then him.
Yeah,
and then it could have continued.
Yeah.
But it was like she sees him, and then he sees it, and it's like,
if it was like she sees him and he just sees something spooky, but he can't connect it to it, but it's like absolutely like, hey, you just got met with this. It would have still kept the drama a little bit.
Yeah.
And also, like, it would have been like, oh, hey, let's agree of like, oh, okay, this explains this. They do end up working together, which is really good. I always like horror movies where like they team up and they're like, okay, we are being prepared. However, when they find out that that the image of Saint Christopher, who is the saint of travelers, any of his like iconography can like scare the demon away and like hurt it. They decide to like get a whole bunch of Saint Christopher medallions, and it does nothing really, and it sucks because it would have been fun. It would have been more fun because they set up a whole bunch of medallions in the van to like probably be like a safeguard or like be a trap essentially. Yeah. But they should have to if they wanted to keep the drama about it, I think they should have like wrapped it around a bat. Yeah. And just like use that as a weapon, because then like both it could be the weapon itself could be lost still. Yeah. There could have been drama there. Yes. Instead of like the medallion just being flung off, because that's, come on, what was the whole point of buying them all? I personally I'm kind of tired of like the demon, like Christian demon type of horror. It's not that it's bad, I just don't quite enjoy it. And this was very like, oh, it's an actual demon from Christianity and like Saint Christopher, stuff like that. I like the idea of like the saint likeness being the focus and not like godliness. And then there's like some callback things that were not like that interesting. Like there's moments where like it's set up like, okay, there's the GPS, there's the bobblehead of Bob Ross, and then there's fire reflected on the van. Yeah. You know? And I was like, okay, those are the big things that they focused on, and I'm like, where is that gonna come in? And then they did come in and it was kinda like meh. Like, whatever. There's a conflict between the fiancés because the woman is like a foster kid, and she talks about how she has always wanted a place to stay. Yeah. And I do enjoy that they do focus on her a little bit, about that, her want to have a stable family life. But I also kind of wish they touched a little bit about the husband, because it's kind of when it's implied that he had like an abusive, like I think like a full family. But that's not like expanded on. Yeah, it just feels like I want to be do a counterpoint to your trauma about being a foster kid, but it's just like, hey, it doesn't feel enough that I can equate the two. It just feels like hey, regular families suck too sometimes. And like, well, no shit, dude. Their interpersonal drama was not that compelling, and she was like, oh, I don't want to be doing this van life thing. Oh, so this is all about van life, which I never, like what I talked about in the Letterboxd thumb, whatever. The 130 million people take road trips. They're not doing a road trip. They're doing van life. Yeah, but it was just kind of fine. I liked how it looked at times. Characters were not that crazy. It was good. It was fine. I had a fun experience to go there with a bunch of people. Yeah, and watch the movie with a bunch of people. And like, I gotta say, if for the Catholics in the audience, good job. Your saints are now starting to get recognized. It's not just God. It's on the 7,000 demons that you have. And the Pokemon we chose was Galarian Stunfisk, because it's like metal stuff about being trapped, and like the passenger demon who's trying to trap people into doing stopping at the highway and trapping people, etc. Yeah, and Galarian Stunfisk, he's a giant bear trap. Yes. We at first we were like, oh, Riverboom, but we're like, Riverboom's too on the nose. Yeah. And Galarian Stunfisk just makes sense because he is just like trying to he's setting up little traps for these guys. Yeah, and like my issue as well with like this type of movie is like I feel like the main thing of like the truck should have been a character in of itself, but it was just part of like a tool or whatever. And I feel like there's so many movies that use
these cars, it's part of like a character. And so I was like, if the truck was more focused on, then I could have done River Room.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. It was just there, and it had no personality to it. And so Stunfisk is the next best thing.
Yeah, and this is a little bit because I know a lot of van life is, I don't want to say popular, but like it has been a thing in the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
If this was I don't want to say traditional, if this was like the like textbook example of like a van life family,
yeah,
I think that would have been very interesting. I would have had one more person in the whole drama because I feel like just the two of them,
yeah,
there wasn't enough to make me feel that much tension. Like there was tension, but like I didn't feel like the stakes were high enough.
Yeah.
If they added like one person in there, it would have hit it.
The next movie that we watched was a rewatch of Hello, Dolly, which came out in 1969, directed by Gene Kelly. Come at any time for the rest of your life. Dolly Levi is a strong-willed matchmaker who travels to Yonkers, New York, in order to see the miserly, well-known, unmarried half-millionaire Horace Vandergelder. In doing so, she convinces his niece's intended, and Horace's two clerks to travel to New York City. That's all it says on Letterboxd, which is kind of weird.
Well, I mean, a lot of the older movies, they will try not to say that much.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that they're taking this straight from like some sort of synopsis that was given by the...
I don't know.
Because that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah,
because a lot of the like early movie trailers I watched in like when I was in my film class at the art school, and even when I was in my film as lit class, any trailers that we watched, it would be like very brief, and like maybe you'll see like a big scene, or like the lead up to a big scene, but that was it. They didn't want to tell you anything else because they want you to watch the movie. Yeah. But some trailers nowadays, they kind of give you a lot.
But so I gave this a 4.3 out of 5. Matthew's been making me watch some older musical movies. We saw Singing in the Rain recently. Prior to that, like Bye Bye Birdie. Unfortunately, and then there's another one.
I think it was just Hello Dolly.
Sound of Music.
Oh, Sound of Music, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. And so just trying to get broomstick, no doorknob.
Bedknobs and Broomsticks, but
that's it.
In my opinion,
a hot minute ago.
Bedknobs and Broomsticks doesn't feel like the like American musical one because it's British.
Yeah.
But two, it's it just wasn't like those big American great musicals.
But it's definitely like an older one that people reference a lot. Hello, Dolly has been my favorite one so far. Barbra Streisand, gay icon.
Yeah.
Really fun. I think like I'm not much of a fan of the soundtrack. There's only like 2 songs. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. But it was shot really good. All the characters, like Dolly Levi is like such an enigmatic character. And I really like the type of medias where it's like a person planning and setting stuff up to like knock it down all at the same time. And it's really fun to see her set things up and then it all pays off well, you know. And I don't feel like there was anything that ever like went off the rail for her, you know, because you would imagine like some stories would like really go off the rail and there's like 1 or 2 things that went off plan. But she course corrects.
She was able to. Oh my god, it's so funny. One of my favorite moments in it is at the very beginning, and then rewatching this time since we've been doing these movie wrap-ups, I like was paying more attention to it, and I was like, I didn't really realize how great Barbra Streisand is by like with her facial expressions and like because Horace Vandergelder says that he is going to marry Irene Malloy, and she's like, oh shit, that's not what was supposed to happen, and she's like, oh okay, I know to go meet Irene Malloy at 2:30, make sure she's there at 2:30. Oh, I guess you don't want to meet, if you're gonna marry Irene Malloy, I guess you just don't want to see this heiress I have planned for you. And Vandergelder's like, what was that again? And she's like, oh, nothing, just a heiress. Yeah,
that was really good. She's just really great acting, really good character writing.
Yeah, so fun. And this is if anyone doesn't know, Hello Dolly is a musical adaptation of The Matchmaker.
Yes.
So it already kind of, it did have something to base it off of.
Yeah.
But I think because of that, they were like, okay, let's really try to focus on like the fun aspects of this.
Yes. Also famously, Hello Dolly was featured in clips in WALL-E.
Yeah.
That's where I knew, like, when I first watched it, this was maybe a year ago, I want to say, there were parts where like, oh my god, that's in WALL-E. And now it's like, oh, that's really fun that WALL-E was watching Hello Dolly. Really fun there. And
Honestly, it really does make sense because Hello Dolly, a lot of it is about like life, like starting your life, not having your life be stuck.
Yes.
Due to your circumstances.
Yeah.
And it being in Wall-E makes a lot of sense, especially since it's kind of about like bringing life back to the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the dance numbers were good.
Yes.
We were talking about it recently because I was like, oh, if we want to be like, because we were watching this a little bit later at night. So I was like, if we want to.
Specifically, it was the day before our flight.
It was the day before our flight.
We don't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
Just watch a movie. We stopped halfway through to get some Chili's.
Mhm.
But it was like, we've seen this movie before. We want to have some fun. Talk about it on this channel.
Yeah.
So like, let's just watch this real quickly. And you were like, we could skip some dance parts. Something compared to Singing in the Rain.
Singing in the Rain, like they had these long dance parts, and like they were. I would say they're longer just because of like the movie musicals back then. They would have longer dance sequences, but. If you guys all know about the infamous Gene Kelly going, can you please use my dance crew? They just make up a whole movie pitch in the middle of the film.
Yeah.
And it takes up so much time. And I told David this time around, I was like, we're just going to skip it. And he was like, oh, I'll just like 1.5 speed it just so we can like experience it still.
Singing in the Rain came out in 1952. Hello Dolly, 1969. So Gene Kelly definitely either became wise to, not doing all that, or someone told him, hey, don't fucking do that again.
Yeah.
But definitely like honed the craft a little bit more. The restaurant scene is probably the best scene.
The restaurant is like, that's also the scene in all. If you have read the Matchmaker or watched the production of it, the restaurant itself is a whole act.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a very crucial scene for everybody.
Is the Matchmaker a play?
Yes.
And then it became a musical.
It's called
I see.
Yep.
But yeah, that was a really fun scene. Mm-hmm. And all the characters surrounding Dolly are fine, but she definitely is the spotlight of it and like the focus of it. So it's like them not being so like memorable or whatever. Like I think Cornelius is probably like the better of the side characters.
Of the side characters, it's Cornelius, who gets a lot of focus. It's Dolly.
Yeah.
I would say like Irene gets a little time in the spotlight too.
Yeah, she's pretty good too. She's
Irene
really
Malloy is pretty good. I don't want to say Horace Fanigaler, even though the story really doesn't revolve around him.
Yeah. Which I like. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just because he's rich.
Yeah.
That's it.
He's half a millionaire. I'm like, all right.
Everybody wants something from him, and he's withholding so much wealth.
Yeah.
And so Dolly's like, okay, let me find a way to, trickle down economics. Yeah, she's trying to redistribute the wealth and how people's lives grow, because that's where her dead husband, she has a dead husband right away. She won't let you forget about it.
Which I like a lot. He haunts the narrative a lot, but in a really fun way.
Yeah,
it's just give me a sign if you allow me to move on and marry Horace and stuff. And I like that.
Yeah. And everything about this movie, there's so much of it that I'm like, oh, this would make me not like the movie if it were to linger.
Yeah.
But it doesn't linger that much, or if it's there, it's not destroying it. It's there just enough. Which is crazy to think about these kind of movies, these movie musicals doing that.
Yeah.
Because man, some of these movie musicals, as I've been showing David, I'm like, oh man, I don't remember it being that bad.
Fuck Bye Bye Birdie.
Yeah, fuck
Bye Bye
Birdie.
Birdie so fucking much.
But we do have to watch Beast too.
No. The Pokemon we chose, there was a long discussion.
We had on the whole plane ride, we were like also trying to discuss this.
On the top two, 100% was either Lilligant or Whimsicott, because Americana, Unova.
Oh, let me get the
Lilligant looks the part, and has like the
looks the part. Let me tell you,
Dolly has like the famous dresses, and she looks amazing.
I'm gonna put Lilligant's Pokedex entry.
Yeah,
because it also kind of made it.
So, I get spoiler. We went and chose Whimsicott instead, but Lilligant was a good contender, runner-up for it.
Which is really funny because they are Virgin exclusives.
Yes, they're reciprocals of each other.
So even veteran trainers face a challenge in getting its beautiful flower to bloom. This Pokemon is popular with celebrities. The fragrance of its garland on its head has a relaxing effect. It withers if a trainer does not take care of it, and no matter how much time and money is spent raising in it, its flowers are the most beautiful when they bloom in the wild. And that also felt very in line of what this movie is kind of talking about.
Yeah.
Like the biggest one is celebrity because it's Barbara Streisand.
Yes.
It's Barbara Streisand, and what is his name? He was the first. He was the first Phantom on Broadway.
Oh, I thought you said fandom.
No, Phantom. Michael Crawford.
Michael Crawford is correct.
But yeah, it's very in line with this movie about like, especially like it blooms its best in the wild.
Yeah.
Very like life-ish, and it has a hat. It's got a big hat.
However, we did not choose it because of what Whimsicott said, but also Lilligant feels too proper.
Yeah.
For
she's super
Dolly,
together. And even
together.
We thought about maybe Hasuin Lilligant has something different.
Yeah.
But it was also kind of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, what was the movie you said that would like a contemporary movie to Hello Dolly? Was it Mimi and St. Memphis?
No.
That's not the movie. Mimi and St. Louis.
Mimi and St. Louis? Yeah, it could be Mimi and St. Louis. It could be.
Oh, there's another one.
Also Music Man a little bit.
Ugh. Oh, I did not like Music Man either.
Yeah, we didn't get to do that.
I could not finish it.
Yeah.
So Lilligant, good choice, not it. Whimsicott, however,
like the wind, it can slip through any gap, no matter how small. It leaves balls of white fluff behind. Riding whirlwinds, they appear. These Pokemon seek through gaps and stuff in the house and cause all sorts of mischief. Scarlet and Violet, like the wind, it can slip through any gap, no matter how small. It leaves balls of white fluff behind. It rides the winds and slips into people's homes. After it has turned a room into a cotton-filled mess, it giggles itself and rides off.
Yeah.
And there's so many times where Dolly goes into a situation, does sort of like planning, her course correcting, and she laughs because someone's saying like, "Oh, like Dolly Levi, you're a wicked woman," and she's like, "Oh, that's a great thing to call me," ha ha ha, and then leaves.
Yeah, like she comes in, says like a line or two, laughs, and then leaves, and she's literally sowing mischief.
Yeah, she's sowing mischief through the whole thing. It's so good,
and she's so flighty with it too. Like she keeps like bopping around,
and she's very good at like moving around. The scene in the hat shop is like my favorite example.
Yes,
because she's talking and making quips and like still in the conversation, like smartly in the conversation, and she's also searching for Cornelius and Barnaby because she knows that they're in there somewhere.
Yeah, and so Whimsicott definitely like the best option there. Lilligant, runner up, good try.
Yeah.
But like Whimsicott was definitely just really good. Like
it's like they had their lip sync for the crown.
Yes,
and it was Whimsicott because Lilligant still really good.
Oh yeah,
but like
this is Brooklyn Heights and Evie Oddly.
Yeah.
This is Brooklyn Heights, Evie Oddly, where it's like it came down to lip sync. I'm trying to really think of other. This is Sophia Cristal and Nymphia Wind.
Yeah,
Nymphia Wind.
Oh.
So
just like the slime button.
The funny part is like in Chili's, we halfway through the movie stopped to go to Chili's. That's when we chose Lilligant, and we looked up Whimsicott and Lilligant. But then when we went back and finished it, we were like, oh yeah, Whimsicott.
Yeah,
Whimsicott 100%.
And even then, it felt a little bad.
Yeah, it was like both. I can't. We have to choose.
We have to choose one because they're not. They're also.
I don't have my stickers in here, but I have to have one sticker on my.
And this isn't like Pokemon that have like different forms, so it's not like you can put them all into one.
Yeah.
But like, we had to pick one.
Yeah. Next movie, technically, we should be talking about it in June, but because we watched it here, our vacation's practically at the end of May, the end of the month, whatever. I'm not starting June until I get back to Florida. So yesterday, the 2nd of June, we watched Backrooms, which came out 2026, directed by Kane Parsons. Really funny that in Letterboxd, there's only this one line. It says, the tagline, "You were not supposed to be here. A strange doorway appears in the basement of a furniture showroom." That's it. Really good. I give it a 4.6 out of 5. So good. I
give it like a good 4.5 salmon out of 7.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kane Parsons, obviously, youngest director in A24. He did not start the Backrooms trend, but definitely did a lot.
Read it, and didn't do like what a lot of like film does when there's like a pop indie horror thing going on, and wait like several years looking at you, Slender Man. Several years.
Yeah.
After the craze to come out with a movie because no one really cares anymore, and also wasn't good.
And you can tell there's a lot of passion in what he wanted to do.
Like
with it.
Yeah, God, this was a good horror movie. There was a white woman jump scare.
There was a very similar to Hokum where there was a jump scare and I screamed. I only screamed once though, and it was like a I said something, did I? I was just like, ah.
You screamed. It was not as bad as Hokum.
No.
But it was one big scream, and I was like, hold on to his hand. I was like, shut up.
There was a group of 4 people sitting in front of us that jumped because of me.
Yeah, they did.
So sorry.
And it was when just a white woman appears. So David had a white woman jump scare.
Yeah.
And it's so funny.
And like that jump scare wasn't like the biggest or the most interesting.
It
but
didn't have like a monster. Well, I guess in a way it did have a monster.
So well,
about it.
I like this jump scare because it was similar to Hokum jump scare, also similar to It Follows.
Yeah, the ball.
The ball jump scare, because I really like the in horror movies jump scares where there's just like a sequence of just rising tension, and then it just sort of ends. And then there's a silent, and then there's a jump scare to break that tension. That happened. It Follows, my favorite movie. Same thing with Hokum. And then same thing here. We have a whole long section, amazing section of Clark in the back rooms and as like escaping. And then the Mary, right?
Mary, the therapist? Yeah, it was
Mary. Mary has like a dream of her as a child and her mother being a hypochondriac.
I don't feel like hypochondriac is the right word. It was more. I felt more agoraphobic. That's thing. But she's a shut-in. Yeah, she's a shut-in, and that was like great break of tension. I was like, that's really good. I'm noticing a lot more and more, but it's very separate than like the usual jump scare of like thing over there actually is behind, and like I like the ones I talked about more than just like the sudden ones. You know, the ones that are just there to scare you. This is breaking attention. And I like that a lot more. The Backrooms itself looked amazing. Oh my god.
Felt amazing. Oh. It was so tangible. Everything was practical. Everything was built as a set, which is fucking amazing.
Okay, so if you guys remember, I'm an architecture student. So Clark, I don't know, still a protagonist, protagonist maybe?
He's protagonist.
Yeah, protagonist, main protagonist. He's going to his therapy with Mary, and they're like doing role playing between his wife, like if Mary was his wife, and so he could practice a conversation he wants to have with his wife.
He's estranged with his wife.
Because he's estranged with his wife. So they're doing everything, and Mary, acting as his wife, says, don't be mad at me because you couldn't become an architect. And I go, motherfucker. Because, damn, cool, horror movie about an architect. But also, like, I always have issues when they just make a character an architect and it has no weight on anything. But, like, Clark makes plans. He in his office, he has sections and he has plans. And he uses... I got really pissed off at first because they show you his drawings of the Backrooms to help try to map it as much as he can, and he draws an axonometric, and I looked at him like, why the fuck is there axonometric here? And then I was like, oh yeah, he's using human scale to help you understand how things are like. And I was like, fuck, this is so good. This is so good.
I apologize if I mispronounce. It's the actor is Chiwetel Ejiofor. I believe that's how you pronounce that. And then Renee Reinsve, who was in the zeitgeist recently because she was in Sentimental Value, which was a Oscars movie last year. But yeah, those are the 2 main characters.
Anyways.
Oh, and Mark Duplass was looking in there, and I was like, Mark Duplass, what the fuck are you doing here?
But the fact that he's using like actual plans, like he's doing this in a very smart way, which is there's a lot of this movie, and when I'm going into a horror movie, I'm doing this a lot where I'm like, I'm trying to predict the ends because like I'm saying, okay, well, I could see where this is going. These are the things I would like them to go to. It's totally fine because again, if a movie's predictable, it's okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to figure out like how this could end, and I was like, is he going to use his like architecture notes to help her get around the back rooms, or is this going to end up like he's going to save the day because he made a really good model on Revit?
Yeah.
But it was good. It was also a really good way to like help give around information to like make him seem crazy because people don't know what a floor plan is.
Yeah.
God, it's so good. And
evidently it did focus a lot more on like his relationship issues and his like personal issues, because it's dealing also with like Mary the therapist and her issues with her mother growing up,
having a failing furniture business.
Like that too, and also like her focusing so much on like opening the window and going through the doorway, you know, because she was such a shut-in as a child, or her mother was, and she wasn't able to go outside.
Yeah.
A lot of imagery, really great imagery of just like the sky,
Yeah,
outside to like show how confined everything is in the back rooms. You know, I was like, everything was just hitting off so well. The personal stories, the human stories, just were fine. It wasn't anything unique, it wasn't anything special, but it was good. You know.
Yeah.
I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. It was.
The
good.
more I think about it, the more I'm like, there's part of me that could see if they did this on purpose, where there's so much unknown about the humans themselves, but you can tell that they are affecting them deeply. So like, you kind of want to know what happened there, but they never go into it, and so it kind of adds to the whole like unknowingness of this whole thing. Yeah,
there is like a few time jumps where
which
like
was a little rough.
It was a little rough where he like first goes into it, and then like we cut to like weeks or months later or something like that, and he's already mapped it all out, which works to show his mental state. But I was like, I'm kind of missing out on that. A lot of people are saying like we wanted to see them try to map this out. But still, what was there was pretty good.
Yeah, and like I don't feel like it's a spoiler, but this could be part of the cliffhanger that apparently they're making a second movie anyways, or a second movie is in the works. Because like they kind of make it seem like they're going to map out the Backrooms and the potential next movie. So maybe that will come back. But at the same time, like we don't know, so why not do something about that? Trying to map out. The one thing I don't like about this movie is the fact there's two humans that pass away. I will not say which ones, but I wish that either both or one of them stayed to just be an extra character, because sometimes like as much as it's good to have less characters so you can really focus and like write these stuff, sometimes it's one of those things like it's okay to have supporting characters because it can push along ideas.
And there was nothing he couldn't bounce up because of, you know, the main conflict between Clark and Mary. There wasn't anything that can bounce off of. You know? But still pretty like I was so thinking good. Like the human aspects are a little flawed, but the actual like horror of it, the unknowability of it, like again, I thinking about Passenger, you know, connecting it to Christianity. This is not connected to anything. This is so itself that is so unique that I absolutely adored. It got kind of Lynchian at times too, because there was like people in the Backrooms who were like copies of people who would pass by and stuff like that, and they looked off, and that was so terrifying. So good.
He almost screamed during when you see a group of them.
And unsettling. So
and
so good.
The sets themselves when they have copies of the like different pieces of furniture, they'll like find a really good way to distort them. Like there's one where it like wraps around a corner and it like, keeps going on, but you can kind of like tell it's like still this like cabinet. It's this built cabinet that like obviously would not have that. And it was so good. And then there was like a no credit sign that like was melting down from the ceiling, and like, it was reversed. And then like there was another really good piece of furniture that I think about. I think there was a clock. There was a clock.
I don't remember a clock.
There was something with a clock. I remember that. Hey, if it's a movie that's Alice in Wonderland-esque, there's got to be a clock.
Also, talking about like connections. The Magnus Archives is a horror podcast created by the Rusty Quill Company, share like 4.0 international license. Also, House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski.
Wanting you guys to know that he has this Magnus Archives thing down to a protocol.
But yeah, like there's so much here that I'm like connects to other types of media, and I'm like, oh my god, let me make a adaptation of the Navidson record, please. House of Leaves, Magnus Archives, The Spiral. So good.
Oh my god. And obviously the Spiral and The Stranger.
And also the I like that there was less intense focus, but like suggestions of the Async corporation, because I believe the Async corporation is like the main focus of like the protagonists of like the Backrooms YouTube content. But here is like they're just there. They're a very shadowy organization that is just there. Mark Duplass works for them, and he's film. And it's like, all right, I guess they're there, but they're not focused on. So what little there is and what is vaguely there is good enough for what this movie wants to do. What?
David loves secret organizations and his pieces of media.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told him when we were playing Kingdom Hearts that you won't really like this until the second game because there is a secret organization.
Yeah.
And he was like, damn, I like it now because of the secret organization. Oh, so like, you know how horror movies or like they try to say something? There was part of me that really wanted this to be about like trauma from childhood homes.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to go that way because the therapist like was really focusing on her childhood and all this stuff is going to make sense. And it's implied that she also had an area where her house is being duplicated.
Yeah.
In demolished, but it's being duplicated in the
yeah.
But I guess everything is. But I really wish that they like kind of mentioned that her mom went into the Backrooms.
Yeah, or
and
something about
this
that.
drive her crazy because there's so much connections between her and the backroom anyways.
Yeah.
That it would just it would have been like a cherry on the top. I'm fine with it not being there, but like it really wanted to make it seem like it was about trauma and it didn't really say anything about it.
Yeah, it was more about like memory and stuff. And there were some people on the internet that were talking about like it's about memory degradation.
That's pretty good.
And like there is the line that everyone's been saying. It's like I'm gonna butcher it, but it's like the more that it tries to remember, the more it forgets.
Yeah,
and that's really good. Mm-hmm. And like the images of like different objects being replicated and iterated in less and less. Mm-hmm. Like I remember there's the telephone pole that keeps replicating and it keeps going down.
It keeps, yeah.
And then a sofa that gets smaller.
Oh, there was one that was it's a perspective drawing of a hallway to get to a door.
Oh my god, yes.
And it's actually a slant.
Yeah.
And so it looks like that, but if at certain angles of the camera, it looks like it could be another hallway.
Yeah, there's like a sweet pan across where you can see that illusion fuck up.
And they do that all the time. There's so many mm-hmm. little architectural tricks and also just like painting tricks in general that they really use in the set. And I likened it to Cabinet of Caligari.
Yes, Cabinet. We talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
Cabinet of we talked about Cabinet of Dr. Caligari in January, was it, or February?
Probably.
Something like that. But yeah, like it's very evocative of
the set itself. Really would mess with your perspective of space.
Yeah.
And that really helps for the whole setting in general. And not only that, there's a scene where Mary's in the back rooms and she meets up with Clark, and he's standing in this hallway that's dark, but also when he comes out, he's bright. But he is casted in such a way on the set that I was like, I don't think he's there. I don't think he's really there. If he is, this is definitely like a monster trap.
Yeah.
And like it was him, but the entire time I would see him like, I don't think that's him. And they also did a very similar trick with the with Phil during the end scene, where like he would just stand there and like you could tell that he was in the room, but there was also something uncanny about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very little CGI used, I think, but I do think that the main monster thing, no spoilers there, maybe was a little bit too CGI. I mean, it was definitely like some part practical, but there were some parts that were maybe enhanced too much.
Yes.
Definitely a little bit practical. Maybe some CGI enhancement made it a little uncanny in a not a fun way.
Yeah.
But overall, everything was just very practical, very tangible, really good. So the Pokemon that we chose was a Porygon Z. A lot of discussions, mostly is like, okay, what Pokemon tends to run
Trick Room?
Yeah.
And it's really funny because both of us thought about for Vertigoraph first, but we're like, Vertigoraph doesn't work for this.
It's because recently in like Champions and stuff, it's been used as a Trick Room setup.
Yeah. And like, even when we were walking out, I was like, we have to pick a Trick Room setter.
Yeah.
And Porygon Z and also the Porygon line, they know Trick Room. They also know Magic Room. Or was it Wonder Room?
I forget.
They also have another room.
Yeah.
But we're like, it has to be a Trick Room Pokemon. Like, come on. Its programming was modified to enable work in alien dimensions. It did not work as planned. There was one about iterations.
CA.
Yeah. Porygon Z's programming was updated so that the Pokemon might operate in other dimensions. Its behavior has been strikingly odd ever since. an additional program was installed to create more advanced Pokemon, but it was apparently flawed. Porygon Z moves oddly as a result. Its programming was modified to enable it to work in other dimensions. This did not work as planned. A curious item induced this evolution. The Pokemon's offensive capabilities have greatly increased, but the strangeness of its behavior has magnified in equal measure. This worries me.
Yeah, and so it's like the idea that both async is the government organization trying to understand this. Maybe they tried to make Porygon, was it Porygon 2, to understand Backrooms, but Porygon Z created and it doesn't work as planned.
Yeah.
Things in the Backrooms are wrong and do not work as planned, and even iterations.
Even Porygon Z itself is would be a distorted, one of the distorted, because its pieces are similar to Porygon 2, but it's all messed around. Like where the neck would be, that's down the tail.
In I haven't seen it in Legends, but in Scarlet, it moves weird. And
ever since they got to like overworld Pokemon, they try to make sure that Porygon Z moves weirdly.
It looks all fucked up, and so this felt very connected to
this is
the
right
themes
answer.
and imagery of the Backrooms.
We did think about Mr. Mime for a little bit.
Yeah, we did think Mr. Mime. We were trying to find like a Psychic type that does have Trick Room, but also Porygon Z, at least in ZA, is one of the few Pokemon, ZA and Scarlet are one of the few Pokemon that I can actually learn Trick Room through leveling, and not just through the TM. So that's also pretty fun. So that is all the movies that we watched in May, plus one in June, but that's fine. That was 9 movies that we watched total.
Thanks, Marathon.
Thanks, Marathon. And then, as usual, we ranked them. So can you pull up the ranking?
Yes.
So for me, I ranked S tier, Backrooms, horror. I love horror. It's going to be at the top. Dead Man's Chest, my favorite Pirates of the Caribbean, so let's go there. A tier, Hello Dolly, At World's End, Truman Show, and Hokum. I think that Hokum, as a full product, it's A tier. I would have put it in B tier, but because of the effect it had on me, have to put it in the lower A tier. B tier, Black Pearl and Stranger Tides, they're fine, they're good. And then C tier, Passenger, fun experience, not a fun movie, not a good movie.
For S tier, I have Backrooms, Truman Show, and At World's End. I would say that Backrooms is my like S. Truman Show and At World's End is like an A plus. From like it had a good effect on me. It's a good movie. It feels a little bit wrong putting them on S, but they don't feel it like an A. For A, I have Hello Dolly. Love it. Always go back to it. I have Black Pearl and also Dead Man's Chest. B, I have for Hokum. C is Passenger and also Stranger Tides. It's really good you didn't have a 5th movie.
Yes. And thank you so much for coming on this journey with us, talking all the movies that we watched in this month. Do you have anything to plug?
I'm going to be getting back in streaming once we're back from vacation. I will probably have a very different game load up because I have a PC now.
Yay!
And I can play games that aren't from 20 years ago.
Yes.
Lovingly.
Yes. We are leaving the Pacific Northwest tomorrow. Our flight's early tomorrow. And this was an amazing time here. And we'll definitely be trying to come back because I love it here.
Yeah.
It's so fun. And it's not hot like it is in Florida. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to be passionate. And I'll see you later. Goodbye. Bye.